So today we are going to install a server on our own computers. You will save money this way because normally you would create an account with a web host and then you'd have to pay them on a month-to-month basis to be able to work on your site on the internet, which doesn't really make sense because if the site isn't finished yet, then you want to work on your own computer instead. So to install the server that we're going to use, XAMPP for this tutorial. So you go to your search engine and you type in download XAMPP like over here, and then you can see my URL is apache-friends.org/download.html, but there might be more than one download option. Then you pick what operating system you're using, what version you want. Are you using Windows, Linux? Um, so I pick this one, then you click download, and then it will download. I already downloaded my file. So what's next for you after that, and you might have to pause this video now, is you're going to install this now. So to install, you click on the file you downloaded. Here it says I have an antivirus running, might interfere, but I will continue with the installation. Over here they're simply warning you not to install to your program files folder. And click next. So you install it to your C drive instead, to your base directory. In your case it might be your D drive or your E drive, but I will go with the default. It's very easy to access it this way, and you won't have too much problems with user permissions, etc. You don't need Bitnami because it's easy enough to install WordPress on its own manually. So let's see, you're going to install XAMPP now. It's going to take a while. If you are a web design student or you're teaching yourself web designing, it's obviously also a great idea to have your own server on your computer. You don't want to be paying web hosting fees unnecessarily for testing out sites. That's what you have your own server for, and you can also use other servers like EasyPHP or WAMP. There's a lot of different web servers available. For the time being, I'm using XAMPP and it's working quite good for me, so let's wait for the installation to finish. Okay, now the installation is almost finished. Okay, completing the installation was finished. Do you want to start the control panel? You click yes. Language choice. Now you have the server up and running on your computer. What you're going to work with now is Apache, which is the server itself, and also MySQL, which is the database. So we start our server and then we start a database. I'll show you what the server looks like. localhost/dashboard. And now I'll show you what the database looks like. localhost/host php myadmin. We're going to jump the gun a bit now and we're going to create a WordPress database. We're just going to call it WordPress to keep it simple. You definitely need a WordPress database to be able to use WordPress, and this is the program you use for that, php myadmin. On a lot of different web hosts, they give you only one database to use per site, especially if you have a cheap web hosting plan, but here you can have as many databases as you like. You don't have to delete your old databases. You can just add another one like WordPress 2 for another website in the future. Now we have to download WordPress. Okay, I'm going to download it now. Over here, download WordPress. So you downloaded XAMPP successfully, you installed XAMPP, now you download WordPress. It's a much smaller file. Download a zip file, 8.2 megabytes, download WordPress 4.6.1. Okay, I did this already. Here's my file. So I will right click, copy, and then I'm going to go to my XAMPP installation. It's in my C drive. The most important file for us now is the htdocs file. Over here, you can place whatever files you want to use and edit. This is where you're going to develop your site and where you're going to put all your files so that you can view it in your web browser. So I'm going to copy WordPress here. Now we have to extract this file. Extract file. So here we have the WordPress installation, except the file I'm really looking for is this one. This is the main file. It contains everything you want. So let's cut this one and we paste it here in the main htdocs folder, and we can delete the old file because it's empty now. You can delete the zip file too to save some space. Now you have WordPress basically installed on your computer. So let's go to your server now. Okay, this is not my server. Here is my server. Over here, localhost. You simply type in like localhost and automatically it will go to this page. Now you delete the dashboard and you type WordPress instead. The reason you type WordPress is because the htdocs folder is called WordPress. If the folder was called WordPress 2, then you would type WordPress 2. So let's type WordPress. Now you pick your language and continue. Okay. So you will need your database name, username and password. Let's go. Database name, we did call our database WordPress. Let me just delete the old files first. Like here you can see it's called WordPress. We created a database called WordPress. There is a default user called root, so I will stick with the root username because you're working on your own computer. You don't need anything complicated. Nobody's gonna hack into your computer, hopefully. But for that you will need a firewall or a antivirus program or whatever. And password, you don't need a password. And you have the localhost and the table prefix is WP. So we leave the password open to keep it simple. Unless you're concerned about security, you can have a password, but it's your own computer, so it doesn't matter right now. Okay, then we install WordPress. Then site title. Okay, let's call it something different. Let's call it WordPress server tutorial. Okay, and username. You can use your own name. I'm just going to use the word admin. And for password, keep it simple because it's your own computer. There's security risks. You can change it later if you like. Password admin. If it's a shared computer, I would use a difficult password. Confirm password. Type in your email address. This doesn't matter because it's not a live website, so it doesn't matter if your search engines index the site because the site isn't on the internet. You can change this later, or you would want traffic on your site, so there's no point to click this. No, it'll take a few seconds. While we're waiting, I can perhaps also explain to you how you can test your HTML files. For example, if your file is called index.html, you would type it in here, and then it has to be in the htdocs folder. Like you would place the file there, like the one there, index.html or index.php, and then you have to type in your index.php, whatever the file is you want to access. And if you do that, then you'll be able to see your website in a live browser instead of uploading it to a web host. Okay, so WordPress has been installed. Let's log in. Username was admin. Password was password. So now you have WordPress up and running. It's as simple as this. This is how you visit your site. WordPress tutorial, and you can change your themes, you can customize everything, you can add some plugins, different users for your site, different posts. But this is a whole tutorial, all different tutorial altogether. So I trust that you have found this video helpful, and feel welcome to leave some comments in the underneath the video. Thank you for watching, and I can try and make a more advanced video next time, but if you don't test and work on your WordPress on your own computer, then you're doing it all wrong, because XAMPP exists for a reason, so that you can test your sites and you work on your sites on your own computer instead of bothering with paying for a web host before your site is completely finished and done. And lastly, I can show you on a database now. I want to show you how the database has changed. Okay, click on WordPress now, then you will see it has become automatically populated with WordPress files. So WordPress is now accessing the database, which is exactly what you want. And let's put our server off. So now you can see it's still running. The database is running and the server is running. So you have to click stop. Now the server stops. Now my SQL stops. And now you can keep on doing your other work on your computer until you want to use your server again. And you click start, and you click start, and then you click admin to load a site and to load a database. And config you can use later on too with some settings for your server. Thank you for watching.